So let's just jump into the national media live that happened yesterday. I think every eye was glued on the screens at 5:30 to hear what would happen. The NCEMA announced that the UAE is officially saying goodbye to masks starting September 28th. Residents have the option to wear masks in open and closed spaces. In the press briefing yesterday, the loosening of laws was announced because the situation of COVID-19 is officially stable. Cases are continuously declining and deaths are nearly at zero.
And with that, the daily announcements of COVID-19 cases will no longer be published. However, the data will still remain on the official websites.
And we've said it once, we'll say it again, no more masks. Students and faculty of the education sector are no longer required to wear masks on campus as well. But there are some exceptions. Masks are still required in hospitals, public transportation and places of worship. Those who are vulnerable and also those who have symptoms should continue to mask up, which is why my little stash of reusable masks will continue to live in its rightful place by the door.
As it should. I mean, at this point, so even as much become a fashion statement. And the rules for COVID-related quarantine have also changed. So those who receive a positive PCR test must quarantine or self-isolate for 5 days. However, those in contact with anyone who tested positive do not have to quarantine if they don't receive a negative PCR result. So that is quite important. A lot of people were worried about like what's happening with quarantine and self-isolation. There you go. You have to self-isolate again for 5 days. And if you are in contact with someone and if you've tested negative, there's no need to isolate.
So we used to have those COVID briefings every week, and then they became this rare thing. So last night was kind of the big one, like, what else do we need to hear? We know now that if you test positive, it's quarantined for 5 days. I feel like all our questions are answered. And they're not going to be, as we've already said, they're not going to be publishing the new numbers every day. So you might see on different media outlets, there's, this many new cases, this many new cases. The information is still there if you want to check it. It's still on the MOHAP app. It's still on the websites, but it won't be continuously published. So the little reminders of COVID that we see day to day, such as new cases and masks, are gone.
But still do get yourself vaccinated. And I mean, it's really, people have been counting down to to the day we don't have to wear masks anymore. Yeah, this is the big moment. And we've all done this together, as a community. We've all just worked together. We've kept ourselves safe, each other safe, followed regulations. Hence, we have come to this.
We should have a big party.
Big mask off party. But
the total opposite of what we should do.
The worst part about this is like, now you get to walk out open and your expressions that you would usually just keep so poker or like, even have the weirdest faces underneath your mask. Like now it's visible to the naked eye.
My favorite thing about masks was the yawning that you could get away with in meetings underneath.
Oh no, you couldn't get away with those. We knew when you were yawning, Casey.
Okay, chat, am I yawning or not?
You are.
Trying, yeah.
I mean, of course, your facial muscles expand.
And yeah, but I feel like you could get away with a lot more. And like do you ever like say something uncomfortable and then afterwards you're like, why did I just say that?
It's the eek face that you always get away with, but now not anymore.
Well, we can still wear them. It's going to be that transition period.
I just feel like I'm going to miss the masks. Like the people have a bad breath in the morning. Okay, like anytime.
All throughout the day.
Yeah, exactly. And the masks would just keep it at bay.
Or maybe the mask keeps it in.
Keeps it in.
Keeps it at bay.
Yeah, but now it's like, it's a big change.
There's a lot to get used to. I really want to know, are you going to be whipping off the mask or will you continue to wear it? And will that transition period be a little bit tricky for you? All of the details are on Lovin Dubai in an article written by Mayar yesterday evening and on Lovin Abu Dhabi if you want to check it there.
Will you be whipping off your mask?
Yeah.
Whipper.
I'm used to it though because I have like the stash at home, I have the stash in the car, and like I always like when you pop into the gym, it's gonna be it'll be handy because I forget stuff all the time, so it'll be one less thing to remember, which is great.
You spoke what all of us were thinking. Moving on.